thanks to the supporters of channel member Length. We've won 5 games on the bounce. We're back up in the playoff positions, and Mo Isa is one of the top scorers in the National League. I love it when a plan comes together. Hello and welcome to part 44 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 games for you in the National League. We're away against Southport and at home against Gateshead. It's the end of August, and this is what's gone on since the last time you were with me. We had you saw in yesterday's episode, the start of the season was a little bit challenging. We then did struggle in the next game as well. But let's just apply some context to this. These teams we played first 3 games of the season. Aldershot beat us in the FA Trophy final at Wembley in our previous competitive game. Fylde finished 3rd last season, 2 points behind automatic promotion and way ahead of the rest of the pack. And Stevenage were relegated from the Football League last year. So, you know what? And also, look, those 3 teams, Aldershot are up in 4th, Fylde in 3rd, and Stevenage are 2nd in the league currently. We played arguably the 3 best, if not 3 of the best teams in the league. First 3 games of the season, and 2 of them were away from home. Of course we were going to struggle, but then we started playing the Dross, and we're beating the Dross. 5 straight wins, a massive 4-0 against Spennymoor, down in mid-table. Mo Isa started to score as well. You can see that he's got, 6 goals in his last 5 games? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, yes, 3 of them were penalties. He got penalties in 3 consecutive matches to get him up and running, but he has now started to score from open play as well. And this is what the league table looks like. We're up to 5th in the league, 5 points behind Port Vale. Port Vale are the one team that still needs some catching, although to be fair, we went to their place and beat them 3-1. So now we've got a little bit of form under our belts. Even when we play against the good teams like those first 3, we are looking good. Remember how we ended last season too? I am feeling very, very confident. We are today away against Southport, who are down in 17th place. And then we're at home against Gateshead, who are rock bottom of the league. If we don't have 2 big, comfortable wins in today's episode, something has gone drastically wrong. We have signed a player as well since the last episode. I think we'd sold James Norris in that episode, haven't we? But we've now signed a guy called Aaron Berry. He's in on loan for the rest of the season. We're paying him quite a lot of money, actually. £425,000. Just £425 a week, not £425,000 a week. That would be a lot of money, probably for most clubs. He's an attacking midfielder, can also play as a striker, sort of in central midfield as well. We just needed an extra body in the squad. To be fair, we probably still need an extra 3 or 4 bodies in the squad, but we're being quite picky about what we bring in. We've got a 21-man first team squad now. We also do have a number of decent young players as well. So I don't know. I'm only going to bring in, I think we talked about this yesterday, I'm only going to bring players in if they actively improve what we've already got. And Berry, certainly at the time we first went in for him, looked like he might be a really strong option for us as striker. And we needed a rotation attacking midfielder, because these games, as we know at the start of the season, we're playing twice a week. And the way we play our high-tempo football, we have to rotate a lot. We rotated a lot through this run of 5 matches. So this is the team for the game against Southport. You can see our top scorer, Isa, is actually starting down on the bench because he's a tired old man. He's 32 years old. I think he's played every game so far. Oh, no, there you go. I rotated him against Port Vale, which, I mean, when you think about it, that's insane. Port Vale, top of the league. We left out our top scorer, left him on the bench, and still went there and beat them 3-1, I think it was. So it's actually 6 goals in the last 4 games for Isa. This is exactly what we were looking for him to come down here and do to the National League. But he's going to be doing it off of the bench today. And to be fair, if we're ahead, Andrucci's probably ahead of him in the list to come on, and we'll give him a proper rest and save him for the next game. But we're going with French in goal, who has redeemed himself a little bit since the first day of the season. He obviously had that absolutely nightmare debut, but he's actually played quite well since then and was very, very good in the most recent game against Notts County, making a lot of good saves. So French in goal, a back four of Kiezu, Roberts, Colvin and Dixon Bonner, Muller and Livermore in midfield, Okoflex, Berry and Goodrum as our winger, as our attacking midfielders. Sorry, Berry's not a winger. And then Knowles getting a rare opportunity to come in and play for us up front. You can see that he's He's started one game this season and ended up, was he substituted or sent off against, but he must have been substituted against Port Vale. So he got injured, but was then fit enough to come off the bench in the next game. I'm recording this on a Monday morning, so I don't. Oh, there you go. He did his hamstring, but recovered really, really quickly. Can't remember all of the context of the game. Let's get into the match anyway. We're against Southport. We obviously do have that worry that I just mentioned. We have the fact that I've not had the game open for 2 days over the weekend. So who knows what might happen with the random number generator, with the form that we had just before we closed the game. It was the worst time to possibly have 2 days away from the game if the superstitions around Football Manager are to be believed and it changes your form, because we were great on Friday afternoon, and then we've just had to kind of leave it. I've been itching to play it all weekend. Cross comes in for Knowles, and I thought that had goal written all over it. Knowles is somebody who, in a good team, and we saw it a little bit in the second half of last season, in a good team, I would expect Knowles to score goals, mainly because it rhymes, but also because we saw him get 10 goals for Mansfield in League Two. We saw him in the second half of last season actually start to score goals when we were playing well. So now we're a team that are playing well. You would think that Knowles would be a goal threat. But, of course, we've got a lot of other very good strikers who are now pushing him down the pecking order. Goodrum certainly is one of them. He's playing out on the right-hand side today, and that's a lovely corner. And David Roberts is in with his third goal of the season already. Obviously only here on loan this season, but you can see that he's taken a step up from where he was this time last year. I remember when we first brought him into the team, we knew he had enormous potential. I think he was already listed as having championship potential, but he was very inconsistent and a bit iffy at the start of last season. Obviously got better as the year went on, but he has started this year in dominant form, both defensively and attacking from those set pieces, where we're continuing to prove that we don't have to worry about the team patching the game. They can try and hide near post corners all they want. When we've got Roberts lurking there, we're always going to be a threat from them. Knowles had a good opportunity there to nip in and grab his goal, but unfortunately the keeper got there before him, and now it's with Livermore and Muller in midfield. I know yesterday I was a little down on Muller as a youngster coming into the team. Wasn't sure I was going to persist with using him. He is getting better. I mean, I won't say better and better just yet. That's one of my superlatives that I save for players who are looking really, really special. But Muller's not looking out of place in this midfield. That's used to having the likes of Magoma and Livermore obviously in there, and Johnson, who went off to play in the Premier League, not the Premier League, the Championship over the summer. And Muller seems to fit straight in. So I'm a lot more comfortable now about keeping him in there as one of our midfield options for the season. I'm not that desperate to replace him anymore. Right, Goodrum with the free kick, and he scores. Only a second goal of the season for Goodrum. But like I say, although we brought him in to be a striker and we're paying him striker money, I think he's on about £800 a week. He's the highest paid player at the club. Because of how in form Isa has been, Goodrum's not actually spent as much time playing up front as I would have thought he would. And today, needs must, he's out on the right-hand side. And I think he might suffer because of his flexibility. He can play on either wing. He can play as an attacking midfielder. He's comfortable in all those roles. He is a creator. So the likes of Knowles can only play as a centre forward. So when we're resting Isa today, and a couple of the other guys as well are unavailable because of fitness issues, we're on a small squad, we kind of fit Goodrum in where we can fit him in, and today that's on the right hand side, and there's not really another option we could have put out there. If you look at who we've got on the bench, I guess we could have played Andrucci on the left, Okoflex on the right, and played Goodrum up front, but we went with this. I guess okay, there perhaps was another option, but I want Knowles to grab goals. There you go, Aaron Berry on his first start for the club. That's why we're paying him the big bucks. He grabs his first goal for us. Remember, Southport, mid-table, Gateshead, who we play next, are absolute rock bottom of the league. This should be a rare, easy episode where I'm just demonstrating how good we are, and hopefully we continue to charge up the league. It looks like Port Vale have got the same idea as well, and we're still 5 points behind them despite beating them. It shows how weak our slow start to the season was and how they've come out of the blocks flying, really, only slipping up in that game where they had to play us. But I mean, look at those match stats. We're completely dominating this football match. There's 5 very good sides in the league this year, and we're one of them. Only problem is we've already struggled against 3 of them. Right, we are going to take off Flex and bring on Andrucci, give him some game time, give him the opportunity to start trying to force his way back into the team. I'm prioritising the players who are fully fit. If we can leave Williams and Isa on the bench, we will. Obviously, we're 3-0 up. We can leave them boys on the bench, so they're going to get a full rest today. So if we're going to bring Kearns on, can either Kaizu or Kearns play right back or centre back to allow us to rest Roberts, who is tired? The answer to that is not really. So actually, despite everything I just said, we are going to bring Williams on so we can rest Roberts. I mean, he was redlining. We really don't want to risk someone to that degree, but we are going to get Davidson on as the final substitution. And I think the logical place to bring him on for is Goodrum out on the right-hand side. So few changes, hopefully doesn't derail things too much. We're playing very confidently, playing very well. We're obviously going to have to rotate quite a lot for the Gateshead game as well, because it's only 3 days away, and you can see how tired a lot of these players are, and you know we're operating on a small squad. This is why we'd still like to get at least another couple of players through the door, but they have to be the right players. Otherwise, we'll just draft in some of those youngsters that we were looking at before. This is going to be a tough season. We need some of these teams above us to start dropping some points, because we've now won, is it 6 on the bounce? Bearing in mind that was only the 9th game of the season, for us to have won 6 in a row and still be 5 points behind and only in 5th place shows that there are a number of teams this year who are up for it. And this could be a problem for us. Let's just keep winning and hopefully they'll sort themselves out. Oh, despite me, current Kev, saying I was happy with Muller in midfield, it seems past Kev on Friday afternoon had different ideas, because on deadline day, I asked me to confirm the signing of this guy. I don't remember making an offer for him, but I guess I did. So he's in. Courtney Clark's a 22-year-old central midfielder, 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Apparently, he's better than Magoma in midfield. So I'll take that. That seems okay. Was out on loan at Hartlepool a few years ago now in this league. Also done time at Guiseley, Dartford. Still under contract at Derby at 22 years old, but suspect he's probably on his way out the door if he's not breaking into the team and being loaned out to non-league still at age 22. But he joins us on loan for the rest of the season. We're paying him. Hang on. We're paying him £800 a week? Oh, past Kev. I mean, to be fair, I've just confirmed it, but past Kev. And we also had some other shenanigans go on deadline day with Fleetwood in League One making offers for not 1, not 2, but 3 of our players. Flex, Livermore, and Davidson were the 3 that they made offers for, and we managed to turn all of them down without upsetting any of the players, although we have had to agree a £90,000 transfer value for Flex, but they got nowhere near it, so we didn't need to worry too much about that. Certainly couldn't have afforded to lose any more players, and thankfully the deadline has now passed for Football League clubs, so we shouldn't be in danger of losing anybody until January, by which time, hopefully, we'll have continued to spend the next 3 months or so drafting players in here and there when we find excellent players to continue to bolster the ranks. As you can see, lots of rotation for the Gateshead game. Gateshead won their previous game, I think, after being rock bottom of the league. I think they've just picked up their first win in the season. They have, with a victory over Dover. I mean, that is a rotten old start, but they've turned around and picked some form at just the right time. Lucky for us. But we're going with French in goal, a back four of Kiezu, Williams, Tavares, and Hughes. Roberts is away on international duty. Why have I got that filtered so we can't see him? Because that's still left over from the summer when we had all the trialists in, and I didn't want to see the trialists. But yeah, Roberts is away on international duty. Ice is going to be joining him after this game, so our next match we have to play without him. They're not playing for the same international team. Roberts is with the Wales under-21s. Isa going off to get his, I think, 44th cap for Sudan. So slightly different international circumstances. But Kiezu, Williams, Tavares and Hughes at the back. Dixon, Bonnet and Magoma in midfield. Isa, Davidson and Redfern as the attacking midfield 3. And then Goodrum get to go up front. You might be asking me, Kev, why is your top scorer playing on the left-hand side? I'll respond with, because that's where he was playing when he was scoring all the goals. Weirdly, when we played him up front, he wasn't really getting in the action. We moved him out onto the left wing and the goals really started to flow. So I guess that's where we're going to be playing him for a little while. I might actually... I should probably get Clark onto this bench somehow. Do we need Cairns on the bench? We probably don't. Let's get the new boy onto the bench. He's only arrived like 2 hours ago. He's not trained with us or anything, but we'll get him onto the bench and we'll figure out what to do with him as the match goes on, as the season goes. £800 a week. I really... Past Kev, what have you done to me there? And why didn't I read the small print before just going, I'm sure he knows what he was doing, which is pretty much the thought process I've just gone through. I've just made an offer to loan Amani Gilks back for the season as well, thinking Coventry only wants £600 a week of his wages covering. That's fine. We'll bring him in. He's an extra body. We know he's quality. I don't know if we can afford him now. I'm going to have to check the budgets. We might have just used them all up. This midfielder had better be good. It was a position where we were very low on players there. The fact that Dixon Bonner's in there today, and I kind of consider him a right back. Although, to be fair, Dixon Bonner and Magoma were their central midfield two who ended last season. When our form was so good, it was with those two together in central midfield. So it's not a disastrous position to have to be playing Dixon Bonner in. Look at the state of the match stats already, and somehow we've not yet scored a goal. I am starting to wonder if Goodrum is a striker, or if we are better off using him in this attacking midfield three. Surely the search for the striker isn't continuing. If I've decided Ice as a left winger and Goodrum doesn't work up front either, we're in season 6. We can't... Ben Andrucci's just sat there on the bench going, boss! 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 I can't see him. Ben Andrucci's the invisible man. Oh my word, we are going to lose against Gateshead, aren't we? I told you their form had turned around at just the right time. This is ridiculous. Look at the match stats. We can't be losing this match. We're going attacking immediately. I've demanded more. This is not acceptable. Hopefully that's just going to be a case of them poking the bear and waking us up and putting us in a bad mood, and we'll go and deal with them in this second half. But we've had a lot of chances already and not really looked like dealing with anybody yet. There is Isa. What a finish from Isa. Look at the bend on that. It's like having Thierry Henry hovering out on the left side of our attack. It's an immediate reply, and it is a stunning finish. He's too good to be playing at this level. I know he's 32 now. He is too good for this level. Look at that first time, the bend on that. What a goal. Leamington 1, Gateshead 1. We're leaving attacking on. We are going for the jugular, at least for a few minutes. Dixon Bonner is tired. So actually, I think this is an opportunity to bring Clark on. What type of central midfielder are you? Can you play as that playmaker? It's not ideal. It's just... So deep line playmaker on defend. Why can't you do it? Yeah, okay, you are low in a few of the mental attributes that we'd want in that position, but Magoma theoretically could go across. Although, to be fair, I don't really want to play Magoma defensively. Clark's just going to have to come in and like it. £800 a week. He'll play where I tell him to. I might want him in goal. For that kind of money, I expect him to be in goal and bring his own gloves. For goodness sake. What does that even mean? Surely all goalkeepers bring their own gloves. Redfern on the right-hand side. Cross looking for Goodrum. That's a lovely header from Goodrum. Maybe he is a striker after all. After all, it was a very good cross. And that header was a really nice looping effort, perfectly placed. And I can't be too quick to write Goodrum off as a striker. We're paying him a lot of money as well. And this might be his first start at centre-forward. And he's grabbed a goal, and it's a proper striker's goal as well. It's a lovely finish. And it is now 2-1. I think at this point, we can probably drop back to our positive mentality again. We don't need to go too over the top, commit too many men forward. But we are going to make some fitness changes. Goodrum is tired. We need to take him off because he needs to be fresh for the next game, because we're not going to have Isa available. So we can bring Berry on and try him up front. He's not played up front for us yet, so he gets the opportunity up there. And then this is where it would have been nice to have Cairns on the bench so we could take Kiezu off. Ryan Colvin is knocking around on the bench, so we can still take Kiezu off, actually, and move Williams out to left back. But what I'm actually going to do, take off Tavares and bring on Colvin, just do a straight swap, rather than messing around playing Williams at left back, which, he can do it, but he's not as good at doing it as a proper left back. This is one of the reasons why I'm keen to bring Gilks back in, because I think he's a very useful player for us to have as an option up that left-hand side. You saw with both him and Norris last year, it was really handy having them both in there, both being able to play anywhere up that left-hand side. And now we've got neither of them. I would have been okay not bringing Gilks back if we'd have kept Norris, But with Norris having gone, maybe we do slot Gilks back in. Maybe we try and loan Norris back. I don't think we've even tried to do that yet. I can't even remember where he's gone. I'm sure he's probably not in the first team. Davidson, lovely cross, finds Isa. What's he going to do with it? Cuts it back to KEV. Now Clark, first look at him. Magoma from range. We've seen him score them plenty of times before. That time, it's just a little bit wide of the post, but we're looking likely to add a third to this before this game is done. KEV with the cross. Redfern, I think, is fouled there. Yeah, there you go. Williams was caught pushing Redfern. You saw him stagger backwards as the cross came in. And Isa with the chance from the spot to grab what I think would be his 8th goal of the season. And he scores it. I mean, I know half of his goals have been penalties, but he doesn't look like missing them at the moment. He is proving to be exactly the prolific striker, the prolific goal scorer we wanted. It's only the start of September. He's already got 8 goals. I think it's 8 goals from 8 starts because I think we've rested him for a couple of matches now. 8 goals from 8 starts. It's the striker I've dreamed of all this time. Obviously, he's not going to be able to come up through the leagues with us because he's 32. But then, to be fair, I ain't going up through the leagues with Leamington anyway. I just need a guy to score enough goals to get us promoted this year so that I can then go and get a job in the championship or wherever it may be. We can't get that guy on loan, which is a little bit of a shame. I'll probably try again. But that's been a good episode. That has been a couple of good results. And now, fingers crossed, we continue those good results. I'm looking to see if we play any of the other big teams anytime soon. I think we've played them all quite recently, so we'll probably go through the rest of September. That's a lot of matches. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a 9-match month. We'll probably go all the way through that month, come back for Kings Lynn, and then keep an eye on the FA Cup as well, because we would like an FA Cup run this year. But the important thing is, by tomorrow's episode, we want to be top of the league, or at least challenging Port Vale at the top of the league. That has got to be the plan. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.